charity that he was running on Facebook. This is going back from 2001, but we do know that he's run a lot of fake charities anyway in the past. The reason he's probably going back around some of the people that he's scammed in the past and some of the women that he's manipulated, and that is probably to try and get money out of people again. It's probably to feed his coke addict or something like that, I don't know, but he is money orientated. A bit like Wendy Williams, another one that's still on TikTok. She's taken her account back off private. She's still trying it. She's got 2 wish lists up at the minute for Amazon. He's still working the doors. We haven't found out how, but he's still working illegally.
Must be nice to be able to do that.
No. How that? Do you have to go through checks or something when you went for it?
You got to go through DBS. You've got to have full 5-year clean history from everything.
I know he's got a Claire's law done on him. One of the ex-partners that he was with. Her case never went further, but they did sit with her and do like a case note. So if anybody did do like a Claire's law on him, something would flag up for the abuse that she went through. So if you got into a relationship with anybody else and they wanted to do some checks, and something would flag up the fact that she went through abuse. So there is something on his record that way. But I mean, he assaulted someone, didn't he, on the doors?
Yeah, and that'll be on his record. So that he'll have lost his badge for that.
They also told the ex-partner that they removed the badge because of the abuse that she went through as well. So
That's another one.
He's definitely lost it. I mean, how he's got it back, I don't. Well, he's not got it back. If we know that, I've spoken to a few dodgy security companies that we think that he's been working for, and they've turned out to be cowboy companies, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I've found out that people are able to buy badges off other people.
That's probably how he's doing it, isn't it?
Comments?
Right, his name is Matty Simmons. I've got a list of all the things because I have to remember. His name's Matty Simmons. I met him on here about well over a year ago now. I come across him. And when you first meet Matty, I mean, he seems absolutely charming. Hi, Holly. I liked what he did. What I thought he was doing. You know, he seemed to be going around helping out loads of people. He'd be battling like the Syrians. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, on TikTok, and then getting people to jump over and help him out. And then he'd make out that he was collecting loads of gifts, and then he'd transfer them back into coins to go back and drop big gifts onto other people that deserved it. So yeah, I liked what I thought I was seeing that he was doing. I ended up in a friendship group with him. I ended up then in a WhatsApp group with him and a few other people, some of which I already knew. And that's when the red flags started to appear. The way he started to speak to women, he was always severely paranoid. He could completely turn on somebody 1 minute without no explanation, and then they were automatically against him. They were spreading shit. They were against him, and everybody else had to block him, and we were not allowed to have nothing to do with him. And if someone in that group refused to block somebody that he'd fallen out with, then he'd turn on that person as well, and he'd threaten to out them. Quite nasty. No worries, Nuggy. There was one person in the group that was going through quite a really bad time, quite a close friend of mine. Matty falling out with another female on the app. Turned out he'd owed him money. Most of the people that he fell out with and demanded that everyone blocked turned out that it was someone he owed money to, and he blocked him rather than paying him back. He fell out with this one girl, then one day he demanded everybody block the same person. She was really close friends to this other guy that I really know well. And this guy turned around and he said, look, he says, I've been close friends with her for a long time, and I'm not going to get involved in other people's situations unless this person's done something to me, which, was quite fair enough. And Matty knew the situation that was going on with this guy. He knew that he was in a bit of a bad place anyway, and he turned on him and he threatened to out him. And he made a lot of false accusations. And at that point, because of the way he'd spoken to other women, and because of all the other red flags, I'd already started screenshotting a lot of the stuff I'd seen in the group chat. Because like I said, a lot of red flags started popping up. It became apparent and, something was really not right. And I didn't like the way one of my friends was being threatened. It was also the case then, a lot of people I realised within the group were very scared of him. So I decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. Never wanted to be an outing page. Never wanted to out anybody, but because he threatened to do it to everybody else, I decided I was going to do it to him. So I come on live that night, and I outed him for being a bit of a bully. And I did use the word narcissist back then as well, because of the way he was controlling and trying to manipulate the group. And to be fair, that was it. I thought that was all that was going on. I had no idea the extent of everything until after I'd done that live. And then I was inundated with messages from other people because they'd seen my live. Hi, Kaylee. I've also then spoken to ex-partners of his where he's been in domestic violence relationships with them, where he's actually beaten them in front of their children. If he's gone to work, they've had to stay on video call with him. And it's always very, very similar stories with every partner that I've spoken to. One woman, her cat disappeared for a couple of days and then reappeared. And another ex-partner, after he left, her keys and her wallet disappeared. A couple of days later, it turned out they couldn't thing. He's never actually been charged with nothing, but there is a lot on his dad. Stephen Beer, he's been on Too Fat to Work this morning. Jeremy Kyle, Matty's been on Jeremy Kyle as well with his dad. His dad's well known for being a bit of a scam artist and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, I was inundated with all this messaging, and it started to become apparent. I know when we were chatting to Matty, he was on about setting up this charity where he was going to raise some money for what he claimed was going to be for food banks. He'd raised like so much for gifts on TikTok and then transfer it back into money and go and drop food parcels off. After out with him, someone come forward, and all the evidence we've got, everything we speak about is all on this evidence page. There was another charity, Hula, I've done a post on it on here as well. Again, it was all apparently for a food bank. Well, the money he raised, he actually bought tech equipment for making TikTok videos with. So he profited from it. And just as we were out with him, he then come off TikTok and he went to Facebook where he tried to set up another charity called the Good Samaritans or something like that. Again, claiming to be for like some sort of food bank. However, that wasn't the case. It was just something for him to profit from. Luck at it, I did speak to the police for everything that was going on. And the only thing they was interested in was the fake charity he was running. And they did set up a surveillance and get that shut down. We have found since that it has gone back further throughout like the years. And there's been other charities that he has set up. Mental health charities and stuff like that, all of which I'm guessing, I haven't got proof on that yet, but given like the recent ones, he's profited from all of them as well. I do have very much loads of screenshots of transactions between loads of women that have sent him money, loads of messages between him and those women where he's been making promises to pay back, and there's always been excuses. He's lied about having things like cancer, and then he's very clearly come onto an app and then told somebody that he did lie about it. He just wanted to see what their reaction was, and to see if he could trust him. He was using it to test him. He's quite sick that way. He lied about his brother's death. He told when I was in the friends group, he told us all that his brother was actually murdered, and that the young son or one of the younger kids of the brother had to witness it, but that turned out to be untrue. His brother died of a drug overdose. Matty himself takes drugs himself. And I think this is why a lot of the money scamming comes into play, because obviously he's got a drug habit to pay for. He does seem to like preying on women. It's got a history of domestic violence and sexual assault. And he really does get to know these women. I think he finds them easier to manipulate and to control. He's contacted some of his victims. His name's Matty Simmons. If you look at the evidence page, or most of the videos that I've done, I think nearly all of them, to be fair, are all on him. He's contacted some of his ex-partners and some of the women that he's spoken to on TikTok that he knows are in the Plymouth area, to let them know that he's going to be in Plymouth for Christmas.